I want to speak on the Matt Rhule situation. Matt Rhule, it just said that Matt Rhule had been fired from the Carolina Panthers 3 years in his 7-year contract. We all knew this was coming. Anybody that watched football, know football, knew this was coming. Matt Rhule was over his head. A lot of times these college coaches just cannot transition to the big leagues. It's for several different reasons. Yeah, we seen Barry Switzer do it, Jimmy Johnson, Pete Carroll. They have coaches who do it, but for the most part, it's just hard to do because you come from dealing with college kids who hungry to dealing with multi-millionaire players who making more than you. They got egos, and it's just everybody can't deal with that. We've seen it with Nick Saban. We've seen a lot of great college coaches that transitioned to the NFL was unsuccessful, or transitioned to the NFL and it was a complete disaster, like in like in Carolina with Matt Rhule. And like I say, we all seen it coming. Same thing with Urban Meyer, great football mind, went to NFL, and it just was a disaster in Jacksonville. We seen with Jim Harbaugh, he was a college coach in NFL. He good wherever he goes. So it give and take. But it's just not always a good thing to look at what somebody did in college and try to translate that to the NFL, because it's a whole different mindset in the NFL. You're dealing with multi-million-dollar players with egos who make more money than you. And, not everybody make more money than you, but, and then you gave this guy this big contract, but it was a new owner in Carolina. So I understand they was trying to change the culture there, but first year, you can't judge nobody off their first year. Like Nathaniel Hackett and the Broncos, they got to give him a little time maybe. I'm going to show you who else next. And I don't know if they're going to let him finish the season on. See Kliff Kingsbury in Arizona, he about to get fired either mid-season or after the season. And this is why. Yesterday, they could have gave the Eagles, and if you looked at my video before this, you seen that I said I had the Eagles on upset alert. They could have not only beat the Eagles, but took them to overtime. Mind you, this was without DeAndre Hopkins, this was without AJ Green, and they damn near took these people in overtime. But this is where Kliff Kingsbury lost the game for them. You got a field goal kicker who had missed every field goal in game warm-ups. He missed every field goal they showed. He missed all field goal warm-ups. You got 22 seconds left. No timeouts on their 30-yard line. Common sense tells you to at least go for one more play. It depends. You might can go for two more. But it's 4th and 1. Wait, no, it was 3rd and 1. I think it was 3rd and 1. But however you throw that football, you got another opportunity to make something happen, because you could throw it. Everybody knows what's going on. So if you do a complete pass, everybody gonna run out of bounds. Whatever happened, and if they don't run out of bounds but get tackled before they run out of bounds, the quarterback gonna come together and spike the ball, and at least y'all be closer to the field goal position, because 43 yards apparently was too far from this guy, because he missed every field goal in practice. In warm-ups that morning, yesterday morning. And so here it is, you got this guy, you're going to put him in the fire when you seen at warm-up that he missed all these, when you could have got closer. You could have got closer, whatever you want to say. And if you would have threw an incomplete pass, then you'd have had probably about 2 more plays. And if you throw an incomplete pass, then guess what? The clock stopped. So for you to kick a field goal with 22 seconds left with a guy who apparently not good at cooking field goals, especially from that range, 40+ yards back, was just bad coaching. And I'm gonna tell you, they didn't already pay Kyler Murray his money, and and then again they mind you, they fought the Eagles, this so-called undefeated team. I'm not saying they bad. They is a good team, but they about to lose this week coming to the Cowboys. I can promise you that. They're a good team, but people crying on them too fast. But this is a team who they struggle with, and this is a team who was without AJ Green, without DeAndre Hopkins, and without JJ Watt. If they'd had all three of them, they would have beat the Eagles straight out yesterday. But yeah, Kliff Kingsbury. So when you're dealing with a depleted team like that, it's the coach's job and the quarterback job to win that game. Kyler Murray did he was supposed to do it. Kliff Kingsbury didn't. And I've seen this more than one time from Kliff Kingsbury. He's just not a good coach in this league. And I can promise you, he next. Either it's going to be mid-season or they might let him finish the year out. But it's new. We start new next year. We done paid our quarterback. We're gonna have our receivers back, AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins, for a full season next year. So he might let him finish this season and start a new next year. But Kliff Kingsbury will not be a Arizona Cardinals coach next year. I can promise you that. You heard it here first. But yeah, going back to Matt Rhule, yeah, he did great work in Temple. He did great work at Baylor. But this league is different, man. Everybody can't transition from college to pro. Yeah, we've seen it with Barry Switzer. We've seen it with Pete Carroll. We've seen it with Jimmy Johnson, Jim Harbaugh. But that's not everybody the case. We've seen people, great coaches like Nick Saban, they just can't transition to the NFL level. Then Matt Rhule, he brings in Baker Mayfield. I love Baker Mayfield. But if Baker Mayfield don't make a drastic change, he gonna be looking for a job next year. And if he don't be looking for a job as a starting quarterback, he gonna have to just either he got, after this year, Baker don't do something drastic, and I don't see it happening. But after this, because that's another issue, Baker Mayfield been dealing with a different coach every other year since he been in the league. That's not easy either. But I'm saying this year, bro, if Baker don't make something happen and at least get the Carolina Panthers to the playoff, I can tell you one thing: he got two options next year. He gonna be a backup, or he gonna be doing what I'm doing. He gonna be sitting on his couch betting on the game. That's what he gonna be doing. I mean, I'm just being honest about it. But yeah, man, that's my take on Matt Rhule, man. Matt Rhule was over his head. This Matt Rhule, he NCAA football is his lane. And that's a good message of life. Sometimes you just gotta stay in your lane, bro. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can't upgrade, but you gotta be careful when you upgrade and know what you getting yourself into. Matt Rhule was over his head day one with the Carolina Panthers, and it didn't get better. So he didn't know who he wanted to have as quarterback. He just been confused. You know what I'm saying? He didn't bring in the right free agents. He not doing the right in the draft. He was in over his head. And eventually the new owner, cut ties and said, listen, man, we signed you a 7-year deal, but we're going to cut ties 3 years into that deal, mid-season, 5 games in. That says a lot, man. That's a big statement, man, because you could at least let the man finish the season off. But they owe him $40 million. I don't know how that worked, you know what I'm saying, with a coach's contract. But that's the end for Matt Rhule in the NFL. He'll never coach in the NFL again, not as a head coach, maybe as an assistant. But I just think he needs to go back to college, stay in his lane, build him up, cause let's be honest, he's a great college coach, but he didn't win no national championships or nothing. So I mean, but he did rebuild Temple, he did rebuild Baylor culture and turn him into a winning franchise. But maybe he just need to go back to the Big 12, the Pac-12, the ACC, one of these top 5 power conferences, and get him a team. Maybe he need to go to Missouri or Vanderbilt or one of those schools and just start to build a culture up and make them a winning franchise. But the college is his league, and the NFL was over his head. He'll never coach again in the NFL. Salute Matt Rhule. You got the bag. You did your thing. But it's time to go back to where you belong. That's like Lincoln Riley. They've been trying to get Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma to be in the NFL for years. Lincoln Riley understand his role, understand his position, and he want to stay in Oklahoma. He don't want to go to that NFL stuff. He's staying where he at. Same thing probably with what's his name? Not Jumbo Fisher. Yeah, is it Jumbo? No, not Jumbo Fisher. I forgot his name, man. He coached Texas A&M. You know what I'm saying? He's a great college coach, and he's staying in his lane. But yeah, that's my take on Matt Rhule being fired in Carolina. And he was in over his head, and he got his wings clipped today.